Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be back on the call today and hosting. Thank you so much for all the continued support and participating in this program. Can you believe that we're already at week 11? Today, we're going to be talking about creative success. We're also going to hear from Justin Kiesel, our VP of Global Programs and Field Development. Justin's going to take us through the importance of launch programs such as Fast Start 2, High Five, and building successful behaviours. Today, we'll also be joined by our RFX Circle Achiever, Jessica Cutler. Now, Jessica will be sharing with us her 3 pillars of success, her daily Rodan and Fields checklist, and how to set attainable goals and build a balanced business. So let's get right into it. I'd like to hand over to Justin.
Hey guys, how are you? This is Justin Kiesel, and I am really excited to be here with you tonight. Well, I guess it's tonight for me, and tomorrow it's daytime for you, but it's really great to be with you no matter where you are. I'm excited to be able to share with you some of the things that we've learned over the years and some of the programs that you're going to soon have the ability to participate in. But now that we're finally ready to launch, and I want to put emphasis on the word finally, ready to launch in Australia, I'm excited to be able to share with you some of the things that we've seen successful consultants do that have led to their success. And then later you'll hear from Lisa, who has some really great advice. If we can go to the next slide, please. I want to share, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing this slide right now, but let me see if I can get that. I'm seeing a blank screen right now, Leanne, if we can see there. Is that coming? All right. I'm seeing a picture of me on the screen. Can we go to the next? There we go. Thank you. Okay. So as I mentioned, there are some programs that we've created at Rodan and Fields that were really created with the intent to be able to help people achieve specific milestones that we know when they do those things, it leads to successful outcomes. And so each of these programs were created with the intent to be able to help you achieve things that we know will ultimately lead you and eventually your team members to success in Rodan and Fields. And it starts with having a launch event. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because the person that introduced you to Rodan and Fields and will be your partner in this business will give you everything you need to know about that. What I want to do is share with you a little bit about a program, if we can go to the next slide, that we call the Fast Start program. And it was named because we want to help you get off to a fast start. So it's kind of an obvious name, but with this program, one of the other key elements, not only is it to get off to a fast start, but we want to get you off to a successful start financially and to get you into a healthy pattern of building your team. So a lot of you are going to, either you yourself or your team members are going to feel like, you know, the investment that you're making is a meaningful one and a good one, but we also want to help you to be able to achieve a return on your investment really soon in your business. And you know, for some people, investing that much money is a significant investment, and we want to help them achieve some of that success early. And so we created the Fast Start program for people to be able to get a reimbursement of the cost of that enrollment kit in the first 90 days. On top of the reimbursement, you'll be able to earn back or earn the commissions that you'll earn. And so let me just explain quickly how the program works. You enroll and you have your first 3 full months to be able to achieve the title of level 2. And I'm not going to break down the details of how to get to level 2. We don't have that much time on this call, and I want to keep this really simple. Sufficient to say, if you bring on 2 new business partners that both achieve executive consultant and maintain that, you will have achieved a title of level 2. If you do that in your first 3 months, we'll reimburse you the full cost that you paid for your enrollment kit. So it's a really great program, and it's designed to help you not only get that return, but as I mentioned earlier, help you get off to a really great start in your business. And not only you, but then for you to be able to bring on your new partners through this program. And what we've seen is when people do that, as you can see on the right, the retention is dramatically better for people who participate this, and the enrollments that come out of those teams are significantly better. So there are a lot of business benefits on top of just getting a return on your investment. Your team grows and you see greater retention. So it's a really great program that we're excited to take to the Australian market. It's been really great in the United States and Canada. The one I'm really excited about is this next one. So the Fast Start gets you off to a great start and it helps you financially. If we can go to the next slide, I want to share with you something that we've created. We did this in Canada when we introduced the Canadian market. It was a great program. Many of those leaders who achieved the Canadian High Five program today have achieved the top title with Rodan and Fields and are our most active and engaged leaders in the Canadian market. So it really is a great chance for you to be able to demonstrate early leadership and to get a really terrific trip on top of it. And here's how the Australia High Five works. So we're super excited that next month we get to finally open the Australian market. That means that we have next month, which is September, and then October, November, and December. Those 4 months are the period by which this program will run. And what you need to be able to do is 3 out of those 4 months achieve the title of at least level 5, 3 out of those 4 months. And if you do that, you're going to be eligible to come join us. And I'm personally going to be there and look forward to hosting you on a trip to our home office in San Francisco. If you haven't been to San Francisco, I'm not a native of San Francisco, but I've fallen in love with the city. It's an amazing city, great energy, great food, great people, and our home office is there. So it'll be really great to be able to welcome you to the home office and to be able to see for yourself what all the hype's about and where all of this started. So the Australia High Five program really is a great program to celebrate your early success and for you to be able to help your other team members come in and achieve this. So we really do look forward to hosting many of you here and be able to celebrate your success as leaders. If we can please go to the next slide. I want to share with you some of the successful behaviors that I touched on a little bit earlier and that we have seen lead to great success. So we created we had a program that we created a few years ago called the Lead the Way program. And you'll learn more of that in the next few months to come. But one of the things I want to share with you is what successful consultants from programs like this have done at Rodan and Fields that have led to really great success. And now that we're ready to launch in Australia and you can soon officially begin building your teams, I want to share with you some of these important benchmarks that you might be shooting for. And maybe you can set some goals to be able to achieve these things. So when we talk about business success or building successful behaviors, there are 2 thresholds that have become really significant for successful consultants at Rodan and Fields. One of them is to enroll 2 new consultants in a month. And that might seem like, well, yeah, that's kind of obvious, but people that balance enrolling 2 new consultants and having at least 10 preferred customer orders in the same month have gone on, and we've done some analysis, seen significantly different results than consultants who are very active in other ways, but don't see the same results as these people. So 2 or 10, 2 new consultants or 10 preferred customers or both. Many do both, and you're going to hear from someone in a little bit that's very balanced that way. But for those that are balanced like this and have 2 new consultants or 10 preferred customer orders in a month, what you'll see is about 4.5 times as many sponsored consultants, which when you look at your overall organization, as you continue to build your team and you become a leader in Rodan and Fields, when you start to see 4.5 times as many new consultants coming into your business because people are focused on this basic behavior, that's a significant accomplishment. But what also becomes really meaningful is people who engage in this have 3.5 times higher personally sponsored qualifying volumes. So that's one of the metrics to becoming, earlier I mentioned becoming an executive consultant. If you have 600 personally sponsored qualifying volume or PSQV, you become an executive consultant. So people who engage in these programs that focus on 2 new consultants, 10 preferred customer orders have 3.5 times higher the PSQV or personally sponsored qualifying volume. But also, one of the big differentiators at Rodan and Fields is the fact that we really do approach this with a very strong emphasis on the products, and the products are truly phenomenal. They do what they say they're going to do, and people see terrific results. And so as a result, we see many, many, many loyal customers who are excited to use the products. They are loyal users and they see the results. And for your business, that becomes very significant. That customer volume and that those repeat purchases from people who are customers become a significant amount of volume in your overall organization. people who focus on this 2 and 10, two consultants, 10 preferred customers, have 7 times as many preferred customer auto ship orders. That's predictable volume, guys. That's volume that you can count on month after month. They see significantly more than our average consultant, who's, again, very active in the business, just not focused this way. They also see as many 2.5, well, almost 3 times as many overall preferred customers. So not just are they seeing significant orders, but overall customer base. So there will be more information for you coming on this Lead the Way program in the future, but I want to encourage you in the next few months as you're building out this, your run for level 5 and you're striving to qualify to be able to participate on that great trip. Focus on a really balanced approach to the business. Some really focus on preferred customers and that loyalty. Some focus on building out a team and bringing on business partners. People who focus on both, we've seen significantly better results than those who are just really focused and siloed one way or another. So that was a lot of information, but I want to just remind you, 2 and 10, 2 new consultants in a month, 10 preferred customers in a month. Those 2 metrics, as you build towards that on a consistent monthly basis every single month, you'll see the kind of results that you see on your screen right now, and it will result in significant growth in your business. So we've seen it happen over the years, and I have no doubt you'll see that same type of success as you focus on these really basic principles. So if we can move on to the next slide, I'm really looking forward to introducing you to somebody. I've had a chance to get to know Lisa over the years, and I'll tell you, Lisa has achieved the very top of the Rodan & Fields recognition plan. She is an RFX achiever. She also drives a beautiful Lexus that she earned through Rodan & Fields. And when it comes to somebody who's really built a business in a balanced way, as I was just describing, Lisa is one of the best in the business. She is very focused on bringing on new partners and providing excellent customer service to many, many customers that have joined her in the business. So I'm excited to introduce Lisa, because if you listen to her, you're going to learn a lot about how to build a balanced business and what it will mean to you in the future. So I'm now going to turn the time over to Lisa Cutler, RFX Circle Achiever.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you so much. I appreciate that introduction. I'll just share my short story with you guys, and then I'll get to the content. So just so honored to be here. Like you said, I'm an RFX Circle Achiever. This is the 2nd year that I've achieved that title in a row. And I just tell you my journey. So I started this business 4 years ago. I had moved to the United States in about 2010, and I was actually so obsessed with my skincare products from Canada that I was having my family and friends ship them to me. That got quickly old for everyone involved, and I started to look for something else. So many of you are on Facebook, and I saw one of my girlfriends posting, selfies left and right of her beautiful skin, and I just had to ask her what she was using. So we sat down for coffee. She told me about the business, and like all of you, I heard the important things and I got really excited about it. But like you, I'm Canadian, and it hadn't yet launched in my home country. So that got me excited even more. So I started my business. I was pregnant with my 4th baby, working full-time in the neurosurgical ICU. And we were about to move from Texas to Alabama. So I had a crazy full plate. Moved to Alabama 3 months later, working my business, and I didn't get another nursing job. The wage was going to be half of what I was making there. So my husband and I decided that I would work on this business to supplement that income. By Christmas, I had matched that full-time nursing salary and was getting ready for the launch into the Canadian market. We launched into Canada, and I quickly surpassed that income that I ever made as a nurse, and earned my Lexus, earned the top of the company, and multiple trips all over the world, and have just really fallen in love with this business model, this industry, and our company. So I'm going to tell you my tips and secrets on really how to get here. And so if we can move to my first slide. Here are the 3 most important pillars of success, okay? Customer acquisition and loyalty. team building, so new consultant enrollments, like Justin said, every single month, and personal development and leadership development. So these three things are the pinnacle of your success, and it's important to understand how to balance them. So I'm explaining each one, but it's also important to know what percentage of your time that you're working this business should you spend on each thing. So for me, I spend 80% of my time on customer loyalty and, enrolling new customers every month, and team building, enrolling new consultants direct to me every single month. And then 20% of my time is spent on leadership and personal development. Okay, so let's explain each one. We'll just stay on this slide. So customer acquisition and loyalty. Okay, so important to enroll new customers every single month, month after month after month. So like Justin said, that you're running, 10 orders a month, or, working for 15 or 20, and just continually working on that base month over month. Okay, so how do you get new customers? So you're going to be talking to every single person that you know, and the people that you know that don't want to directly enroll with you as a business partner, you're going to then default to the products. So, what is your biggest skincare concern? What are you using right now? And really investigating and making it about them and finding out what they're using. Okay, and then also making notes of, what they say. Okay, so likely, like your sponsor told you about this business, and maybe the first time you said no. So just understanding that most people are going to say no before they say yes. And all that means right now is, no, not right now. It's not good timing. No, I need more information. Okay, so really going for no and leading with the business. Okay, so that brings me to, team building and new consultant enrollments every single month. So if you don't lead with the business and you lead with the products, and you talk to them about the products and they say no, well, it's kind of awkward to then say, well, what about this business opportunity? Okay, so if you think of every single person that you come in contact with, or every single person that you talk to as one of 3 C's, okay, you can write that down. They're either going to be a consultant, a customer, or a connector. So a connector would be, after maybe they've said, I'm really happy with what I'm using right now, you could say, okay, well, maybe you know somebody, in your network that this would be a perfect fit for. Maybe you know someone that is looking to make an extra $300 or $500 a month, okay? And then getting that list. So it's really important. Okay, so try and focus on at least 2 new consultant enrollments every month, 4 new preferred customers month over month. So you're working to having those 10, 15, and 20 preferred customer orders every single month, and really growing that base. And so that you have a really balanced business with, the turnover every 60 days, you're just building upon it every single month, and really keeping those customers happy, making them feel valued, and making them feel like they're your friend and not just, part of your business. And I'm going to get to that a little bit later. Okay. So as you build this team of people and you're working towards the Fast Start, or the Australia High Five program, remember that there is attrition in this business. And so it's important to bring on new people every month, because those people that got you to level 2 for the Fast Start, or the 8 people that got you to level 5, those people will likely not be the same people next year to keep you at that title, or as you move higher up in title. Okay, so it's important to know that you're just not counting on 2 people or 8 people. You're continuously adding and building your team. So let's go to number 3, personal development and leadership development. As you probably know, if you've been building this business, since the beginning, pre-enrolled, you'll know that sometimes it gets tough. Okay, so you're going to find times in your business where you inevitably get stuck or you hit a plateau. So personal development is so important, because the skills required to get you to level 2 are not going to be the same skills required to get you to level 5, okay? And each new level in your business is going to require a new and improved and better version of yourself. So it's so important to to start in this habit of personal development and learning about this business model, this industry, the type of skills required to get customers, build your team, build leaders, that you continuously make this part of your plan or your daily activity, okay? So it's important to remember that as you learn about this, this is a people business. You'll be successful if you can, master people, really understand people. This is a leadership typed business and business model, meaning the more people that you help achieve their goals, you'll ultimately achieve your goals. So that requires some soul searching and some personal development and growth, okay? So let's go, and this encompasses leadership development. So it's so important to pour into your team what you've learned, because they might not necessarily understand things that come innately to you. So really explaining, pouring into them, explaining things. And then also understanding that these people probably do things, they have better ideas or they do things better. So being open to learning from other people in your business, sideline, upline, downline, crossline, other teams, and just really learning and growing, okay? Recruit up, because really the crucial step to being successful in network marketing is developing leaders, finding people that are better than you and helping them achieve their dreams. So let's move on to my next slide. Okay. So a lot of people talk about the type of plan that they have in place for the goal or activity that they want to do that day to achieve, a certain milestone in their business. But a lot of people don't talk about, the triggers for being, unproductive, or what causes them. What is your trigger for going into inactivity? This is literally just as important. So what causes you to be unproductive? Is it maybe you had a bad day at work, you had a fight, someone said something nasty to you in a message, maybe someone ignored you, or, what causes you to be unproductive and ignore the things that you should do every day? Okay, is it scrolling, Facebook for 5 hours a day? It's assessing the 24 hours in your day and looking for things that you've done that are unproductive and time wasters, okay? So maybe you're in Facebook groups, reading file after file or watching training video after training video. And that's great. That's so important. But it's important to not use that as an excuse for not doing the hard work. So taking the stuff that you're learning every day and putting it into action. So let's think about, what causes you to be unproductive and what is your thing? Maybe, you're binge watching 6 episodes of Netflix a night. You're on Facebook and suddenly you're stumbling upon your ex-boyfriend's cousin's fiance's trip to Mexico in 2011. Like, we've all been there, and it's unproductive and it's a time waster. So getting into social media and getting out. Okay, so what causes you to be unproductive? And that's going to bring me to my next slide. Okay, so determining those triggers for, inactivity or unproductivity and recognizing them and avoiding them are so important, okay? But what are you going to do during that time? Or what are you going to do in place of that time waster, okay? So here's when we come to trade-offs. So I learned about trade-offs when I started quickly learning about leadership and leadership development and trying to become a better leader. And I stumbled across a man named Dr. John C. Maxwell. And he is like a world-renowned leadership expert, has written like 100 books. And I found this book that he wrote, and it was called the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And I stumbled upon this thing called the Law of Trade-offs. And it just really blew my mind. And what it says is that in order to have something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done, okay? And doing something we've never done, which is like probably this business or talking to a lot of people, is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. So, but we need to give up something in order to go up, okay? We got to give up to go up. So I want you to think of a trade-off in your life. What personal trade-off could you make that is, negotiable? There's going to be things that are non-negotiable and negotiable. Get with your family, your significant other, your partner, and determine what is a negotiable trade-off. Maybe it's watching 2 episodes of your favorite show a night. Maybe it's less time on social media. And you need to have a plan in place for this business during that time. And that's going to be your trade-off. And most of the time, it's going to be time. Okay, so I want you to think and write down some possible trade-offs and what you can do. And we're going to get to what are you going to do in that time next. So that brings me to my next slide for this plan. Okay, so when I started realizing what was possible in this business, it blew me away. Other friends that I was making in this business, my mentors, my leaders, and I decided, like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what they do. I can totally do this. And so I got with my husband, and my trade-off was time in the evening. So my husband worked a 7 to 3 job, and he would come home, and then I would take over, or he would take over, and I would go and work in my office, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, whatever. He was getting used to falling asleep with the lights on. And, after I quickly excelled to the top of the company when I got this checklist in place. And then I thought, okay, how do I teach other people to do this? And I sat down and thought, well, what did I do every single day when I was really working my business hard? And I came to this checklist. So I'll let you just take a picture of it and write it down. But every single thing on this checklist balances those 3 pinnacles of success. Okay, every single thing on here. And there's going to be some things on here that you're thinking, well, why would she do that? And it's regarding leadership. Okay, so leadership is not your title in this company. Leadership is, not how many consultants you have on your team. It's influence, nothing more and nothing less. It's not people respecting you because you're RFX Circle. It's people respecting you because you're pouring into them and you're a leader and you're putting other people before yourself. So these are the things that I do and continue to do every single day without going to bed. And I focus really hard on them. I'm not going to get into crazy detail because I don't want to keep you here all day, but this checklist was a game changer for me. You can, tweak it or edit it. And that brings me, to my last slide of the day. And that is like the call to action for you guys getting off this call. It's create a daily checklist for yourself that will help you build, a successful business by focusing on the activities that support customer loyalty, team building, and leadership skills. And it's those 3 pillars of success and breaking them down. And sometimes as ladies, there's probably men on here, there's just something so satisfactory about checking things off a list. And that's how, I came to this checklist, and how I've fallen in love with it is when you're making these trade-offs in your life so that you're not falling into inactivity or unproductivity, you're able to celebrate these celebrate these little victories every single day along the course of a week or a month as you're building toward your dream. Because success doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to have overnight results, but there's something great about finishing something daily that motivates you to continue your commitment to the trade-off to the next day. I hope this helped and was beneficial for you. Let me know if you guys have any questions at all, but if not, thank you so much for having me. Congratulations on all your success. Looking forward to the launch, and I'll give it to Leanne.
Thank you so much, Lisa and Justin, for sharing with us. You've both given us so much to work with today with our launch programs and how to build a successful and sustainable business. So let's recap on some of the takeaways from today's session. The 3 key behaviors that are so important to building a balanced business are customer acquisition and loyalty, consultant enrollment, personal development, and leadership development. If you can focus on these 3 behaviors and improving your skills, you will really build a solid and balanced business. But like anything, these skills acquire learning, effort, practice, and of course, consistency. I loved a particular point that Lisa made. Determine triggers that are for being unproductive and how to recognize and avoid them and continue with your plan. Celebrate small victories. We can all be very guilty of thinking we're productive, But how much time are we actually taking on social media? Are you scrolling aimlessly and watching what everybody else is doing? So make sure you're aware of what your triggers actually are. Another point from Lisa was the business is about people and leadership. Leadership is being an influence, nothing more, nothing less. It's not position, it isn't title, it's influence. Make sure you keep that in mind as you work through your checklist. So let's talk about the call to action for this week. This week, we'd like you to create a daily checklist that will help build success by focusing on activities that support customer loyalty, team building, and of course, leadership skills. I really look forward to all seeing you back here on Friday. Have an amazing week, everybody.